It's the SKOR North Twins Show.
All right, SKOR North Twins Show live from Target Field. Extra innings here. Hit the like button and subscribe button for Minnesota Twins content. The latest from the clubhouse, latest information, any wild, reckless trade rumors, any type of that fun stuff here. If you like it, subscribe to it. Appreciate everyone that has supported the SKOR North Twins Show. We're getting closer and closer to 5,000 subscribers. So if you can, hit that subscribe button. It helps spread the word. Appreciate everyone that has done so. Solo pod here from Target Field in the Los Twins radio booth. Figured I'd jump in here to give you the latest on what's happening. Twins playing the White Sox for Game 2 of their 3-game series. Plenty of stuff to talk about. We got some Royce Lewis updates we'll give you here in just a sec. I asked around a little bit about the stolen base strategy and just overall identity maybe change for the Twins going forward, which is something that I'm curious if they can replicate once they are fully healthy or when they are maybe playing at their 100th percentile, plus some other updates on Jeffers, Pablo Lopez, etc. So fun show. Strap in. Let's start with Royce. So Royce Lewis was able to run the bases again today, did some sprinting, did some sliding. That's right. Some sliding here during BP and working out. So Royce Lewis in good spirits. We talked to him afterwards. Obviously, he's very eager to get back. He's chipper. Feels like he's been ready to play. Hamstrings are obviously very tricky and difficult injuries to assess. So they certainly don't want to put Royce Lewis in a situation where they're rushing him, but his body says has responded well, and it's to the point where, his hips aren't causing a problem. Wasn't maybe as lengthy as a absence as maybe initially thought from when the injury took place in spring training, which seemed very significant at the time. So for Royce, good news there that he's running and being able to sprint and test out that hamstring. The offense obviously needs him pretty well. If he continues to track in the right direction, obviously the next step would be a rehab assignment. Now, we don't know when that would start exactly. Obviously, he's done sprinting on back-to-back days and consecutively throughout this week, so they can't and don't want to just assume he's good to go, put him in wherever, whether that's St. Paul, who I know the Saints are home right now. They got a doubleheader here on Wednesday. So if his body continues to respond well to the sprinting, there probably is some clarity on when a rehab stint starts. If that's all good news, we'll wait and see. But Royce Lewis in the right direction, hopefully returning to the Twins sooner rather than later. The offense needs them. I mean, look what Luke Keaschall has been able to provide to the Twins. That's obviously been huge with his bat, with his speed on the bases. So sooner Royce Lewis is cleared for maybe a rehab stint, the better. With him being basically out for the better part of almost a month now. It would probably be, if a rehab stint maybe were to start here soon, it would probably be, about a week's time with whoever that is. Probably mixing in at third base, mixing in at DH, testing to make sure everything is running appropriately. And maybe, if that goes well, you're looking at maybe in early May if things are tracking in the right direction for him. So, we'll kind of wait and see what happens there with Royce Lewis, but good to see him smiling, good to see him in good spirits. He is a big Lakers fan, so he believes the Lakers are probably going to, take this in 5 games, but it's good to see him in good spirits, and Twins are hopeful that if things are going the right direction, they get one of their best offensive players and just heartbeat of their team back in the lineup. The lineup obviously needs him, so stay tuned here on the SKOR North Twins Show. We'll have a full show with Mackie and Judd tomorrow. So we'll have that as well. Plus, I'll have an extra innings episode from Target Field to recap this series, and then plus any news that takes place. So Doug says here on our YouTube channel, by the way, hit the like button and subscribe button here on the SKOR North Twins Show YouTube channel. Doug says, if Keaschall stays up and Lee goes down upon Lewis's return. Great question, Doug. Keaschall ain't going anywhere. I mean, how can you send a guy down that's batting third again tonight and has just continued to been incredibly productive for you? I mean, how many rookies can step in and bat third? I mean, that's very difficult to do. Projecting who goes down, though, I mean, do you just DFA Jonah Bride? I mean, could do that. Brooks Lee, that's interesting because they want him playing every day if Royce Lewis comes back. But by the way, like, this is, we still don't have a hard date when Royce is coming back, so it's not like this decision has to happen within the next 24, 48 hours. But, I mean, if Keaschall hits like this, there's no chance they can send Keaschall down, which is big. Take a swig of my Arnie Palmer here. But, we'll monitor it. Injuries, unfortunately, are the way that this always happens. On Luke Keaschall, so, yeah, batting third again for the Twins here in Game 2 of this series, which is incredibly impressive. His not just his bat-to-ball skills, which obviously he's been able to put the ball in play, which is great. And, look, he's hitting .357 now in, 5 big league games, batting third. He actually will play second base. He'll be in the field, which is a good sign. His type of swagger and mojo, I think, is very interesting here. He swipes a couple bags yesterday. He reached in 3 different plate appearances. And just asking around, speed has been something that this team has lacked, not just because they don't want to run the bases, but because they don't really have the players to do that. I mean, look at the Mamba squad, for God's sakes, right? I mean, Nelson Cruz was the best hitter in the lineup. He also was probably the slowest player in baseball. Mitch Garver was on that team. There was a lot of players that just aren't advantageous to be stealing bases. I mean, I think what you're seeing too is, and he's still on a couple bags already this year, but Byron Buxton, he made the spectacular catch yesterday. He's now a full go where he's not fighting an injury. He's not being babied. He's not being with the kid gloves on. He's a full go, so he's swiping bags. The Twins in the past, especially under Rocco, just haven't had the guys and the dudes to be active on the bases. And it's an element that, as baseball ebbs and flows from power and strikeouts and walks to then coming full circle and going back to swiping bags and taking the extra base and moving, that's a piece that this team just hasn't been able to crack. And if Keaschall can do that, if Byron Buxton can do that, Willie Castro, he can swipe some bags. Harrison Bader can swipe some bags. If they can start doing that, I mean, that changes their identity. I don't really know what the Twins' offensive identity is, right? Like, we're past the Bomba squad. They've gone from the biggest swing and miss team in Major League history to now putting the ball in play more, but also still maybe not making as hard of contact as they want. I know there's been a lot of atom balls and that type of thing, but what if you just lean into that type of speed? Like, obviously guys like Trevor Larnach or Ryan Jeffers aren't going to be stealing bags anytime soon, and nor should they. But if your top of the order kind of has some speed to it, steal bases, make life havoc, make life hell, put yourself in scoring position. You might as well. There was another play last night where after Keaschall successfully stole second base, he ends up scoring on a ball that went a foot in front of the plate because there was an errant throw. So that speed thing is something that I think I am intrigued to watch, because if they can get some stolen bases and put guys in scoring position earlier from the top of their lineup, why wouldn't you? And you can now get away from it. You don't have to always be locked in just because everything is power and home runs doesn't mean that you don't have to not steal bases. Like, I think the Twins have to steal bases with those guys. If those guys are in position, they have to swipe second. So I think that's a piece that the Twins need. They're like 23rd, I think, now in baseball in stolen bases, which is still obviously like nowhere near league average or above it. But I believe they were dead last in stolen bases last year. They were the slowest team in baseball last year. That's a piece that if the Twins can lean on and use successfully, I would love for the Twins. And it's just fun, right? Like, home runs are great, but stealing bases and moving the guy over, I know that's small ball stuff that we've now gotten away from, but in baseball, Major League Baseball specifically, things tend to come back around, right? Like stealing bases, sinker ballers, two-seam fastball pitchers. Like, there was a time where everyone in the Twins rotation threw a sinker or threw a two-seam, right? The Nick Blackburns, Kevin Sloweys, etc. And then they went away. Like 5 years ago, there was none of them. And now they're popping back up again. So the whole thing is just kind of interesting how baseball can kind of change like that. So that's the interesting part that I'll definitely kind of be watching, even if this Twins season is maybe going off the rails. Can they lean into other things that they can build upon to use as building blocks to use as their next identity, whether that's with the new core of roster players that come up? Speaking of that, so Ryan Jeffers starting and catching again for the Twins. Rocco hinted in pregame availability today. I think you're going to see, instead of the 50-50 split that's pretty much been in place also in the Rocco Baldelli era, whether that goes from Jeffers and Vazquez over the last few years to Mitch Garver and Jeffers. They've thrown a lot of different kind of options out there, but they've never really leaned into like a 70-30, 60-40 split. They've been mostly almost dead set down the middle. This offense is scuffling so bad that, and not to say like Jeffers is tearing the cover off the ball, because Ryan Jeffers certainly could be better at the plate. You have a better chance of Ryan Jeffers hitting a big hit for you, getting a big hit for you than Christian Vazquez does. And look, he's slugging just 296 on the season, but drawing some walks. That stuff is obviously very encouraging. And I think you're going to see Ryan Jeffers catch a little bit more and not just have the 50-50 split. They need better offense, and hopefully Ryan Jeffers has a little bit more batted ball luck. I mean, last year even just 238 average with batted balls in play. The year before that in 2023 when he kind of broke out, he ends up, with 133 OPS plus. That season was 368, or 359, which is a little higher for batting average on balls in play. But hopefully Ryan Jeffers can find the groove a little bit, and he is just a better hitter, obviously, than Christian Vazquez. So that's something also to kind of keep in mind as lineup tinkering happens here and there. Tyler Anderson said, what's the Dex plan at now? Well, they have to win the whole thing, right? I think they're at 4-6. I think they've played 10 games, right? 10 games. So as long as they sweep the White Sox, sweep the Angels, the Dex plan hits. And no one cares about how you get there, right? If 9-6 happens, which is what I projected before the Braves series started, that didn't go very well. Not the Braves series started, whenever it was, a week ago. So that's still in play, Tyler. As long as everyone continues to win, they'll be just fine. We should have some clarity too, by the way, on Pablo Lopez's return from the injured list. So he threw 66 pitches for the Saints last Saturday. He threw a bullpen on Monday. I think we'll probably hear when he's scheduled to pitch, maybe by even the end of the game tonight, because they have to announce probables. So I would assume that's probably this weekend. It's not tomorrow, I can tell you that much, even though he threw 66 on Monday and a bullpen Monday. I mean, that doesn't 66 on Saturday and a bullpen Monday. It doesn't make much sense for him to start tomorrow. But if all things are tracking, he probably returns to the mound for the weekend series against the Angels at some point, Friday, maybe Saturday. But who goes down for him? That's an interesting question. Fest is on the mound tonight for the White Sox, or against the White Sox, and Fest has been solid, man. I don't know if you can really take David Festa, a guy who isn't going deep into games necessarily, but has faced 38 batters and none of them have scored. At least he doesn't have an earned run, I should say. So does Simeon Woods Richardson go down? I'm very curious to see what happens there. I don't think they'd go to a 6-man rotation. I don't think that'd be in the cards for them. But Paddock's put up really encouraging starts here in his last two outings. Festa is an easy one to just say go down, but how do you send a guy down that hasn't allowed an earned run? I know he's going to pitch against the White Sox tonight, but that's an interesting one to see what happens, because when Pablo Lopez returns, and if they're not going to go to a 6-man rotation, some guy's going to be obviously out of the starting rotation. Simeon's, he's been up and down in this kind of sophomore season in the starting rotation. ERA near 5 in 4 games, 3 starts. Justin Topa was used as an opener in his last appearance. I mean, Simeon Richardson could go down, I guess, but I wouldn't say it's like deserving of being sent down. I'm curious to see what happens though. But Twins need their ace back in the rotation. So Pablo Lopez will probably have some clarity on that as well coming in the next couple days. What else we got here written down? Talked about the speed. Talked about Luke Keaschall. How about Louis Varland? Louis Varland on Tuesday, game 1 of this series. He gets the 8th inning. So Griffin Jack's got the 7th. it was still a high leverage situation. I mean, it was only a 1-run game, and Jax gave up a single, but ends up getting a couple punch outs, and has an encouraging outing after obviously being a little bit all over the place here in 2025. But Louis Varland got the 8th, and I wonder how long that continues, right? I mean, Louis, I think, is built for that type of pressure. He's got that wrestling background, and that secondary pitching is really starting to take the next step for Varland. So he's always had a good fastball. The knuckle curve he's been obviously working on for a long time, but they needed Louis Varland to start developing some of that secondary pitching. And so far this year, I mean, he's been damn good, dude. That knuckle curve, only 1 base hit allowed. He's thrown it 43 times, 1 base hit allowed. The 4-seamer has just 2 hits allowed. So, I mean, he's kind of, those 2 have been nasty for him, and he probably should be using them a ton. He still mixes in the slider, the changeup to lefties, mixes in the sinker then to righties. Those have been hit a bit, but if Louis Varland continues to pitch like this, I mean, it's great. He's 96 in fastball velocity. He's inducing chase, which is huge. But he gets an 8th inning, high leverage situation, and delivers for the Twins. Duran threw 32 pitches last night, so he's certainly unavailable for this evening's game. Byron Bucks needed to bail him out with a big catch. So it is not the best bullpen in baseball. In fact, in terms of wins probability added, I believe it's still like last or second to last in baseball, so not where it needs to be. But there are options there to kind of mix and match. And, you know, with Duran throwing 32 pitches last night, Varland and Jax throwing probably some Cole Sands, probably some Jorge Alcala for Game 2. The game will take place here. Maybe you're listening to this as the game's starting, or as you're maybe listening to it in the middle of the game. But, yeah, it was interesting to see Louis Varland get the 8th inning after that's kind of just been, for the last, 2 to 3 years, it's been Jax into Duran or Duran into Jax, and Jax got the 7th inning. That was great. But then Louis Varland got the 8th. So I think that's mostly all I got here for you on Extra Innings. Hit the like button and subscribe button here on the SKOR North YouTube channel. Again, Royce Lewis, hopefully we'll know the next steps. He was running and sliding today, which was encouraging. Yeah, sliding, big things. As Royce said, if I'm sliding, if they're giving me the green light to do that, that probably means hopefully something else is in the works where he can maybe start seeing live pitching. He's been seeing stuff in the cage and swinging an axe bat and all the fun stuff and being a great teammate and just being around the guys, but he obviously wants to be back out there. So we'll see what happens with Royce Lewis. Continue to be updated here, though, on the SKOR North Twins Show, so hit the like button and subscribe button. By the way, a shout out to Element Hotel. You can go to skornorth.com/element for a 15% room rate. In fact, if you're maybe coming into town, heck, maybe you're going to the draft party tomorrow at the Fillmore with us at Purple Daily and you need a place to stay, you can literally stay inside and walk across to the Element Hotel, which is attached to the Fillmore. Or maybe you're coming into town for a road game. skornorth.com/element for a 15% room rate when you use that link, skornorth.com/element. You can check out our episode 2 with Trevor Plouffe from a Trevor Plouffe Tuesday. Again, we'll have a full Twin show on Thursday. And, yeah, that draft party, we're super excited. That's going to be an absolute blast. Vikings scheduled to pick 24th. We'll see if they stick and pick at 24. Our buddy Doogie's going to be there. Tyler Fornes is going to be there. Mackie Judd and myself. We're excited to have a packed room again at the Fillmore. Maybe a surprise guest or two or not. I don't know. I can go check out Bricksworth as well with Chuck Foreman, who will be hanging out with Mackie and Judd. I'll be here kind of wrapping things up from Target Field. But if you're joining us tomorrow at the Fillmore, come say hi, come hang out. We're looking forward to that. So appreciate you guys. This is the SKOR North Twins Show. Be talking at you soon.